getting too close. I've never felt so far away. I said, what's wrong? And she said, nothing. Nothing's always something. I am slipping through the cracks. This time I don't think I'll come back. And I'm never gonna feel you. I'm never gonna feel you. It's time, I told you. It's time.
Hey guys, welcome to Surf Show and Tell. I'm Noel Salas, and today's review is on some of my favorite surf accessories. But before we get into that, we are fully stocked and ready for spring and summer. I've got the black and white over here. These two are both black and whites. I've not waxed or ridden those yet, and I'm really excited to ride those. There's been a lot of hype about those, and I've been talking with Britt Merrick about them. He just loves the black and white. This is the sampler in the CI Flex Bar model. This review will be out in April. This is super exciting and truly innovative. And then you guys saw the Peregrine Groveler, which love that board as a small wave board. And then I've got the twin fin that was designed by Britt Merrick also. And guys, I've never ridden a twin fin in my entire life. This is 5.6. I'm super excited about it. I might even have the very first wave that I catch, whether I kook it and fall or not, or go over the falls. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put that wave in that review. And then we have the Hoglet. That's 5.3 stock dims, and that board feels great too. So I'm really excited. Hey, the best way to keep up with me and find out what we're doing is go on Instagram, look me up under Surf Show and Tell. You'll see little snippets of maybe some videos or stuff that I'm working on, maybe a sneak preview on one of the reviews that I'm doing for a surfboard, or even some accessories. We might do some giveaways. So that's a good way to follow me and keep in touch with what's going on Surf Show and Tell. So with that being said, let's get into the review, and I can give you my perspective on some of my favorite accessories. So guys, let's get into fins. Fins are really important. I feel like fins are as important as surfboards. You can have a surfboard that doesn't feel very good under your feet, switch fins, and you got a good board. So I try as many fins as I can get my hands on, but I want to go over real quick. You guys know from my reviews that the medium, AM2, and the large is probably my favorite fin. It's my go-to fin. CI just came out with a new fin. This should be hitting the stores probably this spring. This is called the RTM Tech 1. This is a medium flex pattern. It has the foam core, so it's super light. I just started using these. I'm getting used to them. I really like them. They're great. They have good spring, and they feel good. So they make this in 3 different sizes. You have it in the large, you have it in the medium, and the smalls in red. They're making it in the Future tab, and they're also making it in the CI2 tab, which is great. As you can see, I have the medium in this Peregrine here right now. Now they are also doing, I don't have a set of these yet, but I'll get my hands on some. They make it, it's called the RTM Tech 2, and that's going to have a unidirectional carbon lines on the tip, which is going to be for a little bit more powerful waves. So that would probably be something similar to the Tech Flex. So you can have a firmer flex pattern, and the prices vary about $10 off. So this is going to run about $85, and then the new one with the carbon tips, that's going to be $95. And they're also doing the FRP fin, which you guys have heard me talk about this before. It's fiberglass reinforced, and it's a plastic fin, but it's got great spring. I really like them in small waves. On small wave boards are pretty good. And they run about $50. You can get a good 5-fin set for about $75, which I think is huge. And then they also have this new fin. This is called the CI Fin Wallet. This thing's cool, man. I really like this. This is probably the coolest thing I've got going because I'm taking a bunch of fins down with me every time I go surfing. It holds about 3 or 4 different sets of fins. I have my solar resin here. I've got a sticker in case I ding my board. I have my trace mounts that are really important. When I go pick up new boards, I always have to put my trace unit on. I have liquid Band-Aid. I have Band-Aids. I kind of have like a little first aid kit, wax. This thing's legit. So fins are important. So get your stuff dialed in, and let's move on to the next one. So let's check out the traction. Traction's super important for me, and I'll tell you why. When I'm going down the line, I move my foot around my back foot around so much when I'm flying down the line and I'm trying to generate speed. My foot's right around here, and when I go into turns, I move it back to here, and the kick is what actually stops my foot from going off the back. And then I can also feel the arch, and that's how I know I'm ready to just lay my turns down. So I really think that the traction's a big deal. It also saves my board from me beating the snot out of it. When I push down on my toes, if I don't have traction there, I mean, I would just dent the thing so bad. So I really like to take care of my stuff. I love my surfboard, so traction's a big deal for me, like I'm sure it is for you. But the Jordy pad's really good. The Jordy pad and the Connor pad are the only two that have the mixed groove technology, and that is every little diamond has little grooves on top, so it has more stick to it, right? So that's why the Jordy pad's one of my favorite pads. The Yaden pad's pretty cool because it has a really big kick, which I think is really super important. I like this pad a lot too. It's got a decent sized arch. But what's cool about his is they've cut these pieces out right here, and that's going to make the pad lighter. And I think that when you get into equipment and you reach the level like Yaden and Dane and these guys, that all that stuff matters. And it matters to me too, how it feels under my feet. The Parker Coffin one is the one I've been trying out lately because it feels like the arch is a bit bigger and the kick feels about the same as the Jordy, but I really like this pad too. This is pretty cool. Look at the Dane pad. This one has, you won't see too many that are exactly the same on this particular model because this is post-production, and what they do is called the post-production waste pad. So when they create a pad and they cut out everything off, whatever's left over, there's a big old pile of waste. They take those pieces and they make these pads. So it's pretty cool, and I think that some of my friends like the Dane pad because they have very little arch in their foot, so they don't like an arch bar at all. So the Dane pad's pretty popular, and I really like that they recycle. And this is the no logo pad. This one feels a lot similar to the Parker pad. I'm sure it's not exactly the same, but the no logo is you'll probably save a few bucks. They range from $38 to about $42. And the only pad I don't have here is the Connor pad. And I haven't used the Connor pad because I like an arch, and that is also a pad with no arch. So that's my take on the traction, and I think you guys should kind of check them out and see which one you like best. So let's talk about leashes briefly. See, I was making a pretty cool leash. This is the Super Comp. It's 5.5 feet long. It's got the swivel on both sides, which is important so you don't get tangled up. It's got the quick dry neoprene, which I think is really cool, but this one's got they call it the hex cord, so that the actual cord's cut in a hexagon, so it's gonna kink and stretch less, which I think is a really big deal. But when the waves get big, you do need to switch out of a Super Comp and maybe go into a standard like 6-foot leash. This is also, they make the standard in the hex cord, and they also make it in the cylinder. So, and they also have the bigger wave leashes and stuff like that. For me, I don't use those because I surf Southern California and it's rare that it's really big. So they make a great leash. I really like those too. So the last thing I want to talk about, guys, is the surfboard bags. They got some pretty cool bags. This is the new Featherlight bag by Channel Islands. It comes in, I think it starts at the smallest at 5'8", and will go up to a longer board. This one's a 6'0". What's really cool is that they call this the Featherlight because it's 1 pound. So it's going to protect the board, you know, in the car amongst other boards or on top of the roof or however you travel with your boards as a day runner. I think it's a great bag. And like I said, it's super light. They make this in the standard meaning like standard boards, not too wide. They also make it in specialty and longboard. And I think the specialty would be something like this little hoglet over here, or maybe even like the twin fin here where you got a really wide board that needs to fit in the nose. So this is a standard one. So this is a great bag, Featherlight, especially down to lowers all the time or to churches and uppers. And then you have the Jordy bag. This is going to be a bit more durable. It's going to be a bit heavier. This is a little over 4 pounds. So it's quite a bit heavier. I love this bag for a few different reasons. They have this great pocket in this one here. The other Featherline does not come with a pocket, but this one has a pocket so I can put my wax, any of that stuff in there, fins. The other thing too is you can see this is a specialty one. This is a 5'7", and it's got a wider nose. So this is the one I take my high fives, minis, all those kind of boards. This is that bag that I use. You could also probably use this on a small trip, like maybe put one board in here, I would probably take some bubble wrap and go around the middle of it so it takes out the rocker in case the airlines put some kind of bag on it and it's going to put pressure on the board. So this board bag's pretty strong. So I really like this bag too. It just depends on what you're looking for. This is not the bag I want to be carrying down the lowers though. You can really feel the weight. Well guys, that's my review on accessories. I hope you liked it.
Here we are standing too close. I've never felt so far